It's me and Mr. Claude Balls.
Okay, I'm helping start the show. Yeah.
Would you like to talk today?
Now, what do you mean, Mr. Claude Balls? What about Dr. Claude Balls?
Yeah, you're Dr. Claude Balls, Dr. PhD, smart guy, genius,
Yes, I'm going to
Claude
be,
Balls.
today I am Doctor, tomorrow I am nothing, okay? That's just the way it works. I go from hero to zero the next day.
Oh, no.
Yes, so it's been a very busy week for the internet and for the different shows. I've appreciated you having the shows and seeing the different people on. And yesterday was a very good show with Brian, or your dream. Well, he's not my dream guy. I don't have any guys I dream about, but he's someone's dream guy, perhaps. And he seems to be a good man.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. So what I thought was what it reminded me of. He didn't really get to discuss it because I had to go and find it. Brian was on a show with Proverbs guy and Kent Hovind, and Brian is very interested in qualifications and things like that. And Kent Hovind comes on and says how he majored, that's Kent, in science and math. Oh, that's simply untrue. And anyway, trying to say, go ask him more. And then later, Brian says to him, so was your doctorate in education or science? And of course, Hovind immediately, he looks like a rabbit in the headlights, changes the topic and says, oh, he's more just a natural scientist or natural at maths. And he's sort of having to admit, he gets caught because he has not even his worthless diploma degrees are in science or math. There's something loosely called Christian education, so I guess it means he's a specialist in an ark or a burning bush or something like that. But he said nothing in science at all, so I quite like that. It's good to see him exposed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but as I say, there are
But,
very nice people, and Brian is one of them, so that's good.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
I know him since Father Chuck show.
all right. Yeah, well, let's hope we see Father Chuck again. He's been missing in action for quite a while, so I'm hoping he's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, he likes to talk about Salome. Brian, his show.
yeah,
He even had
gosh.
I think a TV show too.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
well. He's not relation to the Brian on the Family Guy, then.
No.
No.
But you ever heard of Amy Newman? I seen Amy on Brett's show. They're both new men. Are they
All
related?
right. Well, they could be, yes. Well, we're all related, aren't we? If we go back far
Uh,
enough, yeah.
what else do you like to talk about? Doctor PhD genius Claude Balls guy.
Yeah, well, thank you for recognizing talent and ability when you're in its presence. Thank you. Very nice. I'm so humble. I'm as humble as Hovind. Um, well, speaking of him, he's put something up about his tax crimes, and unfortunately, it is full of yet more lies. So I've had to make some response videos, which I'll put up to tell you the truth, because the truth is important to me. I know it isn't particularly to Hovind or his hero, his followers, but yeah, actually, that's a good thing for you to make. Do you know the television program Hogan's Heroes? Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
You know, and the music. Da, 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 and then you've got Hogan, Hogan, but you could make it Hogan's Heroes, Ghost. Hogan's Heroes,
Uh-huh.
and Kent could be Hogan. Who could be Sergeant Schultz? Stephen, maybe. Stephen could be Sergeant Schultz. You know the program I'm meaning.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it on The Simpsons before.
Yeah. Well, just look it up. You can find it on YouTube. Look at just one episode of Hogan's Heroes. It's because it sounds like Hogan's Heroes. Yes, and you may be too young for it, you know. But they even showed, you know, it got on French TV, and one of the actors in it was French, actually. Mr. Robert Clary. He's French, so
Could that be
interesting.
you?
I suppose it could be. Yeah, I could be him. And Brunhilde, I think that's the secretary. That could be Missing Maud. Yeah.
Who could be Big Bad Mama?
Big Bad Mama could be General Burkhalter, I think. General Burkhalter.
Who'll
That's
be the
one of the.
Who'll be the bald-headed guy?
Colonel Clink. Right. Yeah, that's the point. Who could be Colonel Clink? Let me think. Oh, that was a rhyme. Colonel Clink. Let me think. We'll have to have a. Yeah. When you look at it, maybe something will come to mind. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I thought of an idea called Hulk Hogan here.
Yes. Hulk Hogan, yeah. Well, I suppose that would have, because it's Hulk Hogan, he's a wrestler, isn't he? Is that right? Hulk Hogan is a
Yeah.
wrestler? Yeah, I don't follow it very much, but
Yeah.
doesn't Kent Hovind claim to have been a wrestling champion at school? So that would all
I'm not
fit
sure. I
in.
know he said he was a tennis champion
Yeah, and a chess
and all that.
champion.
I think he
And
might
he
have.
was great at judo and karate and dating girls. So yeah, it's a very busy life.
And he. God, what else he might have said? Yeah, I know he always talking to like he said this one time to a student. Says he said, if evolution's true, how can you tell between right and wrong? And the kid said, I get to tell what's right and wrong. I'm God of my own universe. And Kent said, then I'm a God of my own universe. I decide it's right to kill you or something.
Oh. Oh, well, that
So you can't do
sounds
that.
something. It's something that
Yeah.
typical Kent would say, of course. But
Yeah, I think he said it in one of his seminars. And the kid said, you can't do that. He said, yes, I can. I say, I'm God of my own universe. I say, people like you need to be killed or something.
you know, recently I
Yeah.
had a short, and it went over 1,000 views, and it was a clip of Hovind sort of starting to cry and getting all emotional, and I
Yeah.
put in one of the comments my own comment on my video, and I said, when the donations start to slow, Hovind's tears begin to flow. It's like a little poem, because that's what happens, you see, when they start with all these grifter types. And as I say, there are genuine Christians and there are not genuine. And the genuine ones aren't asking for money all the time. And Unfortunately, Hovind is, but yeah. So when donations begin to slow, the tears begin to flow, and everybody, oh, he needs money. I better send money.
Well, Big Bad Mama put a video up about them asking for money on Facebook
Oh,
for yeah. I think his wife is asking money for her birthday for Dr. Ventureland, I think.
yes, yes. Instead of birthday gifts, she wants give money to the business. Sorry, I mean ministry. Yes. Who would know? She could always give her house. Sandra has a house. She could give that to Kent. I mean, Kent wanted Cindy's houses, so why doesn't he go after Sandra's house? What's the difference, you know? I mean, I think she'd be stupid to give it to him, but, you know, Kent likes these very obedient women who just jump to attention whenever he sort of says anything.
Oh.
Kent and Missing
What do you
Maud
do
would be a
if
good combination.
what if you fall in
Sorry.
another dimension where what do you say?
No, that's good. Carry on.
Oh, what if you fall in another dimension where the whole world is nothing but clouds? Like that one video
Ugh.
where it was a pun at the cloud
That
and
wouldn't. Yeah,
Aiden landed there.
that wouldn't work
Mhm.
for me because I would have to kiss myself. Ugh, horrible. Mm. So now
Yeah,
that
you would
I have to rule that one out.
no, it would be
Imagine being
you.
lying there in bed, and I reached out to cuddle, and it's me. Ugh. And they go, "Oh, Claude, you look so handsome. Oh, Claude, oh my goodness. Oh, don't sweet talk me."
I mean, here's this world where the men are you and the women are Big Bad Mama.
Oh my,
His
oh
actual
dear.
the actual picture of Big Bad.
Oh, oh dear, nightmare. We would probably rip each other apart. Oh dear.
And you send and your mom dad send you hair as baby Claude. Oh, guess who's here?
Who's here?
Hi, everybody.
Oh, it's the Mama Big Bad.
How are you guys?
Good. We're
All right,
having a bit of
sorry,
fun.
I didn't know you were busy earlier.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was just out and
Oh,
about.
How dare you?
oh,
How dare you have a life? You know, you should be waiting just in case you receive an email or message from me and maybe from Logan, but
To
from
go on
me
a
anyway.
stream.
And you should be jumping to attention. Yeah.
Right. Oh,
What do
another
you think?
stream. I got to get home.
Oh, I've got to suddenly turn around from what important work I am doing so I can become world famous on our little channel.
Sorry, honey. I have to interrupt our date. I have a stream I have to go to.
Yeah. Oh, just as it's getting interesting. Oh, Big Bad Mama, you're so handsome. And you go, oh, well, darling, would you like to come home for a coffee? Oh, wait a minute, I can't. Um,
I
would you
can't. I
mind
just
wait?
got Gangster Ghost just sent me a link. I'm out
Yeah.
of here.
Look, would you mind sitting in the living room?
Right.
And I'll be 2 hours, and I'll come back with this. How
Do you
romantic.
mind leaving the apartment for a couple hours while I
Go and wait in the car, woman. Oh,
Jeez.
the kitchen needs. Look, you could just cook us a meal or a snack while you wait. Because That's the good thing about Sandra. All she wants to do is be wife. That's all she wants to do.
Right.
Be wife.
Did you see the
I
video I
met
just put
her on.
together this morning, Claude?
Now, which one was that? Because
Yeah,
I've
I
seen a
did.
few.
It was about Sandra's
That's the one I'm talking
fundraiser
about.
and how she's the only one that gave to her own fundraiser.
Oh, right. No, I've seen the other one. I made some comment. Oh, I have
I
to go
just
back and
I
look at
just
that.
put it. I just released it like probably an hour ago. So check it
I
out
think
when you
that,
get a chance.
yeah. I've seen there's some other ones
I
which are
talked.
very good.
I
What's that,
talked to
Logan?
her before on Brett. I talked to her before on Brett's show.
Yeah, she's a nice person. I don't.
Yes,
But this,
yes.
this
Yeah, she's a
fundraiser
nice.
is a little odd.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're the fundraiser. It's like, me donating, asking for money for my own birthday and then donating money for my own birthday. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh, I also met. You ever heard of this guy named Sal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him on there too. He's a nice
Yeah,
guy.
he's a nice guy. He's a friend of Cindy's.
Yeah.
What
I don't
He.
agree with his science, but I think from my perspective, he's always been nice.
Yes, he's a decent person, and
Yeah.
that's all you can ask.
Right.
He goes after Ken a lot back in the day. He did like Kent science. Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
What he said.
He and Cindy debated R and Raw and Dr. Chris Thompson, and it didn't go well for them.
I would think it wouldn't. What I can't understand in this whole thing is, Cindy probably lost between 1 and 200,000 to Hovind, and some of it was given and some of it was a loan. But then in those letters that I read out, Cindy was expected to give the rest of her houses to her husband. And yet Sandra isn't. So why? Why is Sandra given a free pass to keep her property, whereas Cindy was expected to give everything she had to Hovind? It's very,
Okay,
very strange.
I thought I heard something that Kent was trying to get Sandra to sell her house in Florida, and she wanted to give it to her son or her children.
Yes, which would
And
make sense.
he did right, which is what you would want to do.
Yeah.
But I think he actually didn't push the point. And
Right.
I don't know where I heard that. It might have even been from Kent himself, but he didn't push the point, and so she's still. And maybe he was saying it to kind of like say, look at me, I don't know, I did something good.
Because it's very much, with the Brady Barham letter, isn't it?
Right.
You should be giving the rest of the properties. I mean, she's lost the equivalent of a house already. It's just, crazy.
You
And
did
then
a
Kent will
great
look
job
after
reading
her
those
with
letters, Claude.
yeah, Kent will look after her with her money. Big deal.
Right.
I mean, I could do the same. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, I'd actually
Claude, I
give
would
her her
look
money
after
back.
you if you're on.
What's that, Logan?
She's joking, Claude. I was going to joke around and say, Claude, I would look after you with your own money.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you. Very,
Just joking.
very nice, Ghost. I should just hand over everything, and then you can take care of me.
We'll hand over all our money to Gangster Ghost, and he can take care of us.
Yeah. What a great deal
Yeah.
that is.
You just have to
I
promise
would
us
always
that you'll
help.
keep streaming, and we can appear on your streams.
In his wildest dreams, that's never going to happen. Yes, Ghost.
I forgot what I was going to say. You go ahead.
I was just going to tell the Big Bad Mama, that Brian was on yesterday on Ghost
Right.
Channel, and I didn't have much to do with him. He's a nice guy. I think he's very genuine, but it did not particularly interest me itself. But it inspired me to go and look, because I can remember Brian with being together with Stephen, and they're interviewing Hovind. And
Right,
then
when he
Hovind,
questioned him about his education.
well, Hovind, and the great thing was Brian was not being a smartass like me.
Right,
He was
right.
he was quite anyway. First of all, Hovind come up with this boast that he majored in math and science. Now, just so I get this right, that's when you do a university degree, you major in something.
Yes.
That right? You don't. If you're in kindergarten, you don't major in something, do you? So
No.
no. So
No, I majored in geology, and I got my degree in geology.
So I maintain that is a direct lie.
Right.
Hovind has no higher education, and by that I mean anything above high school, where he majored in math and science. And
Right.
if he did, it should be easy to prove. He'll have the qualification. That doesn't just it's not something that just pluck out of your ass. But he did pluck it out of his ass.
Right.
He didn't, and then later Brian says, "Well, with your PhDs, was it in educational science?" And immediately Hovind realizes this is getting in a bit too deep. I've already made a false claim about my major, and he somehow doesn't give a direct answer and says he's a natural at science and math. That's just appalling. So that's why I put that up. I clipped that out because I could remember it.
I remember it too, and in fact, I think I clipped that out too when it happened, because that was just a classic Kent lie, basically, that he majored in math and science, and he didn't say he got a degree, but I really doubt because you have to officially major in something. You don't just you have to declare your major. So
he didn't. He has no qualification, and even his false degree, because I call a worthless one, the diplomable ones, they're not even. He didn't pay enough to get those in math or science, obviously, or perhaps,
right.
So,
but I think he does have a legitimate theology or something like that bachelor's degree,
but from some Baptist outfit that was also unaccredited, actually, I think.
Right, but I think it was actually one where he probably did attend classes and that kind of thing. It was when he was quite a bit younger.
Right, yeah. So, but the main point,
whatever that's worth.
Yeah. He's got nothing in math or science.
No.
And then he streams out how he taught geometry, algebra, trig, earth science, physics. Him teaching physics, physics is a terribly complicated subject. There's hardly any physics teachers. It's hard to get maths and physics teachers now. There's plenty of ones probably who can teach about the Bible, but so
you're going to teach physics from the standpoint of a 6,000-year-old universe. You're going to teach earth science from the standpoint of a 6,000-year-old Earth, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, I could see him teaching math, and maybe he could do algebra and trig well. Maybe he could teach those subjects, because those are set in stone. They don't require that you they don't contradict the Bible at all, I guess is what I would say. So maybe he did teach those subjects and he knows those subjects well, or he did at one time.
No qualification. Normally if I go to a school and say, "Oh, look, I'm Claude Balls and I'm going to teach science and math," the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, good. So your qualifications in those fields." "Oh, no, I don't have any. I've plucked it out of my ass." They're going to say, they're going to laugh at you.
You're hired.
Yeah. Well, obviously, in the very low level schools he must have gone to, if it's even true, then that has to be the case. But you know, and if I was a parent, I would not want my children learning from some dunce, you know, who didn't even have a bachelor's degree in the subject. Now, the fact is, this could be solved by Kent agreeing, let's say he's a doctorate level, sitting doctorate level papers in physics, you know, and it doesn't have to be about the age of the earth, just in physics and physics calculations and advanced mathematics. And I think he would be an abysmal failure. That's my prediction.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
He taught
I
in
know.
church schools.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
teach in public schools, or they were church schools. And I think he even drove the school bus, and he would go into these. It sounded like he went into the inner city and picked up children and bussed them over and then taught them, you know, malarkey, basically.
What's a Meraki? Oh, Big Bad Mama.
Uh-huh.
You said Sunday you're doing that one thing?
What's that?
You said Sunday you're doing the
I think
one
I could do
show.
something on with the Hawaiian Islands on Sunday. Yeah. What time do you want
Yeah.
to
What time
what
would be
time do
good?
you want to do it?
What time is anytime that's good for you?
Well, Claude,
Uh,
when are you free
probably.
on Sunday? Anytime?
Yeah, pretty well. Well, Sunday is Monday, my day. So, yeah, pretty well any time. Just let me
What's a
know.
good time for you? Would like I mean, like if we're doing it early in the morning, is it better for you, or later in the evening, or in the middle of the day? Do you know?
Either do it at like sort of 7 at night or early in the morning. One of, as opposed to the middle of your day. Yeah.
Okay. Can you do 7 at night, gangster?
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
can. Yes. And what time is it there now?
It's
2:18.
it's
And
11:18 here.
okay, so that's also a good time or a bit early. You know, so 10 or 11 or even 9 in the morning for your time is always good for me too. So you can choose.
Well, if gangster's okay with 7 p.m.,
Yeah,
let's do that because that's 4 p.m. for me.
perfect. Yeah,
And it's only going to be probably, I just have like a half hour presentation,
yeah.
and I don't even really want to have, I'll discuss it with anybody that's on, but it's just a presentation. I'm not like debating anybody,
No,
or
well, if they do want to come and debate or question you, you let
they
them.
can
You
come
say
on and
that's
yeah, they
fine.
can come on and ask questions,
Yeah,
but I
at
just
the
want to like
end.
give a full presentation first
First,
before they do
yes,
that.
I agree. Because otherwise, you've got people coming on trying to do a gotcha, you know, and they've read something on
Yeah.
Wikipedia or
Yeah.
from yeah. So, and I see that Dustin has fallen out with the Proverbs guys again. They booted him from their show.
Oh, I
I think
saw that.
I
I,
Yeah.
put something
I
up there. Yeah.
What's that, Logan?
see later on they let 'em- I seen another video. I forgot which one where they had Chris Baker on there.
Really?
They had they allowed Dustin back on there, and he
What
was
was
talking to Chris Baker about something. I forgot.
This was
when was?
recent?
From Kent. Yeah.
Can you send us a link to that? An approximate time?
Yeah.
Okay, Dustin, if you
Yeah.
could do that, that would be good. Were they talking about what, prostitutes or
No,
no?
I think what they were talking with Dustin that are when they kicked him off.
Because
Oh,
they kicked Dustin off. He was arguing about some theological point, and then Stephen pulls that thing out of his ass, saying, "Well, 3 or 4 of us agree, and you don't. So you're just being, you know, God has said this is the way it's decided, or some bollocks." And then, you know, Achilles is chiming in with his nonsense, and then they pull the pin on Dustin. You know, I know he can be a bit irritating, but it just shows how they can't stand any dissent. any, he's probably being a bit difficult, but that no reason
Well,
to
no,
chuck him off.
but they're just. I mean, look what they did with Christian and stuff, and that was all
Yeah.
stunt.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, how can you get into it with Christian? I mean, he's not going to lose his temper or anything, but it
No.
must have been
No.
just a theological disagreement, which
Yeah.
everybody has. Those guys don't agree with each other on things.
No. No.
Flat Earth, for example.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, it's funny. I love it when to know that Achilles is a flat earther is just, it's just like gold for me.
Because there's no it all can come back to that. Any discussion you're having, if he's calling us kindergartners or whatever, it's like, well, at least I don't believe in a flat earth.
Yeah. And it just destroys any well, he didn't have any credibility to begin with, but whatever he had is just gone burger. Even with Kent, that's the funny
Right.
thing, is his hero doesn't even believe in a flat earth.
And he also doesn't agree with Kent about the KJV, I don't think.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he does agree with me on that.
Yeah.
Which I think that would probably make Kent even more upset than the flat earth stuff.
Yeah. The funny thing on that show which I clipped some stuff, is that Stephen shows himself to be so arrogant. The three great minds he talks about, which of course he
Right.
was one of them, and the other one where he knows Hebrew. It's not that, and he's just so, oh my God, unbelievable. But you know what I felt really sorry for, and I mentioned it in the comments, when the little kid comes on and says, "Can we go fly a kite?" And this kid is having to sit through this. It went for 4 hours, and all he wants to do is to go outside and do something wholesome like fly a kite. He sounded so cute, and I felt so sorry for him growing up in that atmosphere with a father who, instead of concentrating on the kids, is more interested in all these shows. That's just not good.
Well, do we know that was his kid?
Ooh, well, if it wasn't, I don't know who it would be. He does have kids, 4, I think, maybe 6, but definitely 4.
I just didn't think they were in the state where he was at, but I don't know. It's none of my business.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
There are ones in other states.
And I'm not raising this to be. This is no mention. This is saying I feel sorry for the kid. The kid is
Right.
the kid.
It was so
Innocent,
cute.
Yeah, and just can I go fly a kite? And that was the most sensible comment of anybody on the whole show. That was the tragedy of it.
Working now.
Logan, you got some stuff going on there.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for the clip.
Oh,
just
good.
make sure when I give my presentation that you don't have that background noise.
Or you'll get a damn good thrashing from Kent.
Well, because I probably will clip it. I'm looking to clip the other discussion I had with Dustin and put it on my channel about the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and kind of just cut out some ums and hus, and then cut out probably most of what Dustin had to say, and just have it as a standalone video. Dustin's mic was so loud during that, it was hard to it's hard to edit it.
The other thing, Big Ben Mama, is Kent's show that you mentioned, and I did take a look with his talking about his tax business, and I've gone through it, and I've had to make into 3 different videos because I'm restricted to 20 minutes at a time on my free plan because I'm so mean. I have a free plan for the streaming. Anyway, I split it into 3 things, just trying to take apart what he's saying, and he just lies. And the involvement of this guy as a prosecutor was a minor role. And of
Right.
course, and the guy was a terrible person. And I say to that, yes, he was disgusting what he did with kids. But, Kent doesn't have to look too far to see him justifying at least two people and their activities with kids, does he?
Yeah.
So he's very, very hypocritical. But so even if the guy had a major role, it still doesn't mean that Kent wasn't guilty. It's a complete non sequitur.
Yeah,
So
it's like, okay, he couldn't do his job because he was
yeah, but the
it's
fact is that
ridiculous.
that all that guy did was file some dockets in the case after his conviction. That's the only role he had.
Right.
So
Okay.
then he goes after Haldemar, the actual prosecutor, because her husband got accused of something, but turns out not convicted either. And Kent's he's using the website set up by Brady Byram as like evidence of his innocence. It's talk about a circular argument, and saying the most dreadful things about the Judge Rogers, and unsubstantiated, and supposedly they changed the records and all this. It's and I don't believe it for a second. But even if it was, it doesn't have a bearing on Kent's guilt or otherwise. It has nothing to
Exactly.
do with it. He is just impossible to, and he says that he's not a tax protester and he believes in paying taxes that you owe. And of course I say, yeah, but that's because he also believes that he doesn't owe those taxes. So he's just full of it.
Yeah, I got a pretty good question in it at the end there.
Oh,
Big Bad
right.
Mama.
Look at the very end of the video.
I send the clip to you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
I have a good idea though, Claude.
Yes.
Why don't you, and I could try to set this up, why don't you go on Atheist Junior's channel and watch that video with him, and with the knowledge you have,
Yes.
debunk Kent's tax claims?
Yes.
Would you be interested in doing that?
I definitely would. Yes.
I'll text Atheist Junior.
Yeah.
And I think because I mentioned it to him that it would be a good show, and I think he agrees. He even had a question on there that Kent kind of avoided. It wasn't under Atheist Junior's his own name, but I think that would make a good show, and it would be really good exposure for your channel as well.
Did you watch it live?
Yeah.
Did you watch Kent live?
I watched
on that?
part of it live, only the last part. I only came in at the last part,
Yeah.
and it was just to get a question in.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Because I've tried and I've set up another account and I got blocked again straight away. It's probably because I called it Claude Bowles Reborn.
That's
It's probably a bit obvious, but
right.
I want to be truthful. So anyway, but the question I do have, and maybe you can ask Mr. Beatty this. Kent, this one, it's a new one to me. Says they had to get two different juries before he was found guilty. Now, if that was the case, that would be three separate trials. Think about it. So if they had a trial, a jury couldn't agree, right? Then there would be another trial, the jury couldn't agree, and there would be another trial again. That's three. So so he's trying to say that two couldn't reach a verdict and the third one could. I've never heard of that, and it'd be interesting to ask Mr. Beatty if that's true, that he had three different trials, because I don't believe that was the case. He also says he didn't have an appeal. He did have an appeal. He just anyway, I've gone in hard on these videos, and I'm going to say it in the meantime that he's just making it up. But of course, because I'm not one of these Hoven types, if I've made any error, I'll admit it and apologize. Kent is never wrong. Never.
I'll ask Robert that question about how many about the trials
juries.
And how many trials there were, right, before he was convicted?
Yeah, because the other thing, if you look at it, you'll see he makes a claim that there were two juries couldn't, and she implies it's the judge. The judge had to get a third jury before that where they would convict him, and I think that's absolute BS. That because first of all, it's a whole new trial if the jury is deadlocked, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
or they might not. They might choose not to do the trial again.
yeah. But what could happen occasionally is a juror does something bad and is swapped out, but that's one juror, not a whole jury.
Oh, that's you put an alternate in that case, and you just go on with the trial.
Yes. So I'd love to know what it is the claims that Kent are making. So maybe Robert would have to look at that thing and say,
Can you give me a timestamp of where that is?
yes, I'll find that, and within
Because
an
that would
hour
make
or
it
two.
easier for Robert to look for it.
Yeah. I
And
love
then you are interested in maybe doing a show like that with Atheist Junior?
Yes, that would be
Okay,
great.
so I'll let him know that.
Yeah.
And he might not, he might want to do it himself or whatever, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
If he does it, he could do it himself, and I'm just in the comments. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have to be on the actual show, or I can actually join in with him. I'm
just going to throw it out there that if he wants, if you want to stream with Claude Balls, he'd be willing to come on and give his opinions because he knows some of this tax stuff or whatever.
Because all the stuff that Kent is quoting from in that whole show, I don't know if you looked at the whole thing. It's about half an hour, but more. All of that stuff is from the website Kent Hovind is Innocent, which his good friend and lover of children, Brady Byram, put up. So you can't, putting this stuff and all the denigrating things he says about the judge all come from that website. So there's no independent evidence there. And unfortunately, when you look at the comments on that, all these suckers swallow it whole.
Exactly.
Very,
I'm
very
texting him right
frustrating.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good time for you guys. 7 p.m. Sunday.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
So maybe I'll Gangster, I'll send you a
Either.
Oops. Has the mama gone quiet?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Are you all right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
so maybe I'll send you a title for the presentation, and you can maybe do your a notification if you want before, maybe on Sunday morning or whatever.
Yeah, well. Anytime you guys want to have a show, you're always welcome to have one.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to finish this text message real quick, so I'll be probably quiet.
I should just make sweet talk with Logan.
Good.
Well, we think of that one. I put a video up there. Of that weird dream I kind of made of a little you called and a little Mrs. Maud.
Yes, I saw that. Very good.
It was a weird dream.
People will begin to talk about us, but there's only one thing worse than being talked about. Do you know what that is? Not being talked about.
Oh.
That's worse than being talked about, not being talked about. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I set that clip up, Big Bad Mama, of later on. I think it was later on that show. They had Chris Baker on there.
Oh.
And they put allowed Delson to come back on. He was like mentoring him, I think, or talking to him.
So that was the same show where they talked about me, and then they booted Dustin out later. And this is all that same show, isn't it?
I think so. And I think I also same one where they were talking about when he got in an argument with Aiden on my show.
All right.
Aiden kicked him off, I think.
Hey, I got the text out to AJ.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Which part of the country is he in time zone?
I think he's in Central time zone, so it goes Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern. So I think he's in Texas. He'd be in Central.
So he's not in the hillbilly country playing a banjo.
No, Texas. Yeah, that wouldn't cover Texas, I don't think.
I want to.
Texas is more
I want
redneck.
to come over
Yeah.
to see. I want to come over, and you can take me on a banjo playing tent revival tour.
That's more where I think Kent Hova lives. Alabama's more like that.
Oh well, it wouldn't surprise me.
If you want to come to the most beautiful
Texas
part of the
one.
country, you'll come to where I live.
Is that the California southern?
Yeah.
It's not dry, too dry, but it's beautiful climate. Is that right?
Well, there's desert, so it's dry in the desert, but there's
Yeah.
also 14,000 foot high peaks and forests and the redwoods and some of the most beautiful coastline in the world.
Wow.
It's a nice state. It's expensive, but
I
it is a
wish
beautiful state.
I wish they all could be California girls.
That
I
too.
might write a song about that.
That too. I wish they all
You ever
could be DAL. Or you have to.
No, not by the looks of some of them. But anyway, oh dear, what did I say that? There's some beautiful souls on the inside. That's all that counts.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I put Soup's comment up here.
Hi, Suit.
They do what Kent does, disagree on the document, and they kick you out. Is that what he said?
That's true.
Do you know Steven's cousin? I think she's still kind of into what Steven used to be. She doesn't believe Paul was a true disciple.
Is she married to him?
Oh, that's his cousin.
Married to Stephen?
No.
Oh, I thought he was the type, but you know, yeah. But obviously got that wrong.
Have you heard about his cousin, Big Bad Mama?
I don't think so. Hi, Soot.
Yeah, she
I
was
don't
on
think
there.
so.
Yeah. She's still in what Steven used to be in.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
He's what? He did what with Steven? She did what with Steven?
She was in the same group that he used to be part of, the Hebrew Roots movement, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what that movement is. I don't know too much about it.
Uh-huh.
I want to come to America. And when I get there, I want to run a tent revival evangelism tour with Pastor Claude Balls, featuring Big Bad Mama and the music ministry. And we see how much money we can con out of these gullible Christians. And then we give it to the poor and needy.
Why don't we go to Dinosaur Adventureland and set up something across the street and we'll do a revival and we'll see if we can get some of those people to come over.
Yeah, tent revival. Or Kent revival.
That's what I was going to say, a Kent revival.
Yeah, you guys could always have Like, you want to have a certain topic or anything, you guys are always welcome to have one.
Well, Claude, that's another. Maybe at some point you should do a show on here as well about the tax thing.
Yes, yeah, I'm happy to. Well, that could be, if for example, because AJ might not do live, but you could do it on this show. Like this channel could be available. Both me and AJ check in, and then he can be the main mover, and we can
Right.
discuss that. That could also work. So there's so many possibilities.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm.
So Kent claimed he didn't have an appeal, right?
Yes, well, according to the document I read, there was an appeal, but the appeal laughed it out. Like they just dismissed it, and then the Supreme Court refused to hear, because Kent never gives up; he just keeps going, and so that ended the matter. The other thing that he doesn't mention, that's something I think I forgot to mention. With regard to his case, that he was an absolute prick to those various people, including the various officers. And then he complains that they did a raid with a SWAT team. Well, Kent talks about how his place has got guns, doesn't he? He talks about if anybody was to go to DAL, they'd get a big fright. They can defend themselves. Well, I think he probably has always talked that way. So when they did do the raid on his other DAL, they probably thought there were guns there, so they had to be careful.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
What about that stuff with them going after DVD number 5?
Oh, that's just completely made up. that's delusional. Why would they weren't interested in his DVD? All they were interested in is getting him to pay the tax he owed, and he did owe it. In fact, the quite good thing on yesterday's one is he says he didn't take tax from his withhold tax from his workers. So, he previously tries to argue they were missionaries. He just makes up lies. They were his workers, and they had to, just like you or I, we have to pay, probably in our country's tax.
What's interesting is he had my question on there, and then he had his slide on there, and you could see the differences between the two. Mine was straight from Wikipedia, and then his said, instead of whatever 21, mine said like 21 charges or whatever, and his said 21 false charges. He'd added the word false to it.
Yes, he's just no consistency. And even the thing about, his guy that stole the money from the ministry, the donations money, which he just took, 4 years after the event, supposedly, and just got out of prison. Well, he's not been charged. What Kent needs to make clear, if the guy is or has been in prison, it's for something else. So if it's that Steve Lynn, it's possibly for stealing that truck, And then he threatens them going back to prison. But on other things, Kent says there shouldn't be a prison,
Right.
Yeah, but when it suits him, when it's someone who's stolen something from him, yes, they should be in prison for a very long time. If it's anybody else, they shouldn't be in prison. He's just...
Well, that's what I heard. He said they should get whipping.
Yeah,
Like, what's
eaten
it
or
called? They take.
executed.
Yeah.
But Kent gets his jollies off on whipping and stuff. It's quite obvious.
But did you notice his story changed, Claude, when I put all those clips together, that the guy's in jail, out on bond, he's in jail, he's
Yeah.
going to go to jail. He was only stealing for a short time, he was stealing for 4 years.
Yeah.
The story kept changing as far as I could see.
It's just par for the course for this Kent, He just makes it up as he goes along. And it has to be Steve Lynn. And because of the timeline. 4 years ago, who was the tech guy? It was Steve Lynn. It's only in the last couple of years it's been different ones. They might have had a hand in the cookie jar too, for all I know. It doesn't, but it definitely was Steve. But they were warned about that. Different people warned them. 2 wives warned him about Steve, but he totally ignored it. And I
Right.
think even the office staff said there's one, a lot of that stuff when he lost his channel, we'd never see again. But I don't know if it was Julia or Julia saying that Steve would come in and just take cash out of the donation jar. Bang, gone. So, and then someone alleged that, you had to, how Hovind would say, make checks payable to CSE, which is Creation Science Evangelism. Well, I think someone said that Steve owned another name called CSE, probably stood it, but therefore he could cash the checks into his account. It's obviously what's been happening. And then now, by the looks of it, on the automatic payments or the PayPal, he's been taking that too, clipping the ticket. Oh, it's wonderful.
He was conning a con man, basically.
Yeah. And then Ken says, "Oh, you could get that money back from PayPal." No, because there would be a legitimate, Kent is obviously
PayPal's going to give the money back.
Yeah, for that. No, not for that. Not for that type of thing. Because, that is where clearly, Kent has given the guy access to his account. The only way it could have happened, passwords or whatever. So, the more you hear, the more that people give money, the higher the chance of it being ripped off or wasted.
I'm not buying the whole thing. I'm not convinced that it was ripped off.
Right.
I'm thinking it's another way to get a hold of the people that donated already and possibly get them to make another donation, because we're seeing all these things happening. Sandra's fundraiser, for example, and Boland's car, and all these things point to some scam as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think the Boland car fundraiser has come to a sticky end, and it was getting 6,000 for some car that had a, what is it? What do you call the book you look up there for
Blue
car
book?
values? Yeah, where I think they were saying it's about half that value.
Right.
Yeah, and then when it didn't sell, now he's put it up to 7,000 to sell it. So it defies the laws of physics in a way, or economics, I should probably really say. Oh my goodness. I don't know where they get the money from anyway. I mean, surely the donations have taken a hit, because of all the stuff that he keeps getting caught in. It's great.
Have you ever heard of ancient aliens?
From what, Ghost?
Ancient aliens?
Indians or aliens?
Aliens. Yeah, aliens.
As in Native Americans?
No, aliens, like from another world.
And what about the aliens? Have I heard of them? Have I heard from them?
Ancient alien showing me. So Kettle said he watches that.
Oh, ancient aliens. Okay.
Oh, here's another thing. He's trying to get double the donation.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tell me, you remember there was quite a few months ago this cost-saving drive, and Kent holds a meeting and he puts it up, and it's about how they can save money. Did that disappear, or is that still up somewhere?
I think it's up on his channel still. It was a public staff meeting that he had.
Yeah.
And he brought up the showers, of course, and the laziness, and then aired it in front of all his YouTube audience to shame the people.
Oh, he has no idea really how to motivate people, has he? He's very, very old-fashioned in that regard. And then he introduces the military type metaphors, and yet he dodged the draft in some way himself. He's just full of it. He loves all that military valor, as long as he doesn't have to put himself in danger.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, who knows what really happened with the draft? I mean, he claims he drew number 552 or something, and so didn't get chosen. But
well, he could have volunteered if he was such a good, he came from this proud military tradition.
Well, he did make it clear that he didn't want to go over there and kill people.
Right. God,
which was one thing I actually gave him credit for.
Yes, except that he's happy for others to kill people and various
That's
things.
true.
He's happy for God to kill people, and he wants the state to kill certain people based on their orientation.
That's very true.
Yeah. So he can. Yes, I think he's very boastful.
Subkettles that end at the same time. He had the meeting. His sub-growth health hold.
Halted?
Pronounce it.
Halted?
Held it. Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to see what those numbers were before and after, but he does have a lot of subs again, considering the amount of views he's getting.
Yes. That's.
I mean, there is a correlation there. Not all the time, but when he had 220,000 views, you would expect a certain fraction of those subscribers to be viewing his channel at least sometime during the week. And it didn't seem like that was happening.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Big Bad Mo. No, I heard about that guy, Eminem. You ever heard of him?
Eminem, the rapper?
Yeah, I heard he became a Christian and preached about God on his rap music.
He gave up rap music, or he's now doing Christian rap?
I'm not sure. But that's what I heard. Is that true?
I have no idea.
Claude would know. He's a rapper. He's a gangster bomb.
I've only seen the movie 8 Mile. That's the only thing I've ever seen with Eminem.
Well, I've been to the school he went to.
Oh, okay. He's got talent.
Yeah, I heard that he became a Christian and preached about God in his song. What do you think of that? Is that? I always thought he was a Christian, but I don't know. What do you think?
I kind of thought he was a Christian too, but I have no idea. I don't, if that's whatever gets him through the night.
Yeah, it was weird. And I always see a lot of times people try to say he's part of the Illuminati.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Ever heard of that?
Oh no! Well,
they say
I've heard them say that about like Queen Elizabeth and George Bush Sr. But I don't never heard of who.
Oh, there's that other rappers like this guy Jay-Z.
Oh, Jay-Z, who's married to Beyonce, right?
Yeah, they're both part of the Illuminati.
Oh, okay.
Controlled by the overlords, like Claude is.
The scientists are also controlled by the Illuminati, according to the Proverbs Guide channel.
Kaylee. What do you think of that, Claude?
Yeah, well, was that crazy business about Elon and Mark echoing the words of Satan or something? It's just nonsense.
They were being controlled by overlords, I think. They said on there.
And they weren't real, they were
Oh,
actors in playing their part.
They were actors, yeah.
Mm.
who controlled by the underlords? It's like,
We are.
are you Claude?
Yeah, well, the,
We're the underlords.
the only underlord thing about me is my underpants.
You know, it's funny. They said, this is what the logic he said. He says, what do you think about this? There's bad people, and there's evil, like there's evil people out there, and there's good people. I was like, I forgot what else. Then why wouldn't someone take over the world? And how they didn't take over the world. Does that make any sense to you? Because there's bad people out there, so someone might have took over the world. Does that make any sense?
Is that what the guy from Proverbs said?
Yeah.
Right. He was paranoid.
Yeah. What if they say, Claude, and you are working for the overlords to try to take out Kent Hovine?
Well, we haven't done
Oh
a very
no.
good job at it. We're trying.
You know, as
Not
you
to
say,
take him out, but
no, we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. So we
right.
provide the evidence, and if people still want to go with Kent, that's fine by me. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to protect innocent people who have to have some ability to think a little bit, and providing them the evidence and information, and then they make their decision. If they still want to go with Kent and lose their money to him and be a slave to him, that's fine, whatever makes them happy. But there are plenty of
Exactly.
innocent people being conned, and I want them to tell them there's hope. There's hope away from Kent and DAL.
Yeah. What if they say that? Yeah. Are those like to bring up the Freemasons? Say they're part of the Illuminati.
Right.
Who doesn't
They're,
like Freemasons?
they're just a boy.
Right.
They're just like a boys' club, aren't they? I
Yeah,
mean, they give different levels depending on how long you've been in there, and I don't know. I don't know what the top level Freemasons if they're. I mean, there's
Kids.
people that own corporations, and as far as I'm concerned, they're the people that are running the politicians and the media, and it has nothing to do with like a secret group of Illuminati. Illuminati, they're out in the open. I mean, they openly own the major media, and they own through lobbying, they own the politicians. I don't think it's a big secret.
What if they try to own you?
They probably own all of us in a way because we're all subjected to their propaganda whenever we watch television or videos or movies or
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, but not Claude. He's beyond them.
I
He
hope
came
so.
from here. They sent him here before his homeworld was destroyed. When he got here, he saved his parents by picking up the car. Yeah.
I am actually the puppet
Yeah. He's.
master. I'm pulling all those strings for everyone.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
Robert
Can't hold.
Robert Beatty says he only recalls one trial on the structuring and related issues,
yes.
and
That's
seems he had a number of appeals and 100 motions, all of which failed.
right. Good, because that puts the lie to two juries being, dismissed. That's just not true.
I'd never heard that.
No, it's just something Kent has plucked from his nether regions. Yeah.
Right.
Actually, have you ever heard this guy named? Got his name. He. It was this one time when me and Aiden was still on Brett's show, he got in a crazy argument with Aiden where they talk over each other and stuff. It was crazy. He's very conspiracy like guy. I forgot his name. He thinks he said something about the moon might not be real or something.
Huh.
Oh, well.
Got his name. He's a crazy nut guy. He said that aces believe what the cartoons tell them. He said evolution's a religion and aces believe what their cartoons tell them.
Not Von Helton,
That's what
right?
he's no, not Van Houten. I think he had glasses on. Tall, skinny guy.
Tall, skinny guy. I didn't watch Brett's channel back then much. But
He's been
I
on
had a
that channel.
theory that
Got his
I had a new theory that Mrs. Balls could be Aiden.
What?
What do you think?
Well, he's not my type. In
It
that
is
way.
possible, though, right?
What if it could be?
Well, in an
Well,
alternate
could it be
universe, yes.
Mr. Mom?
No, I just mean that the person that was writing as Mrs. Balls could have been Aiden.
Yes, it could have been.
I think there's a pretty good chance of it when I actually thought it out a little bit.
That or Missing Mod.
I don't know. I just came up with Aiden, but who knows? Claude will have to find out one day.
I think Ada would know the name of that one guy I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Zero. Yeah, it was so funny how their argument they had. He wouldn't let Aiden talk, so Aiden did let him talk. They interrupt each other. It was crazy.
We haven't seen Aiden for a
Been a
while.
long
Is he okay or busy?
I think he's busy working.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was in a little bit of the comments that are the last Saturday night.
Yeah, he was in the comments yesterday, so he's doing okay. I think he's just taking a break from coming on streams and stuff.
Just while I remember, an important point about Kent's show where he's defending himself as innocent of the tax crimes, and they try to make out that the judge was biased against Christians, right? And he puts up this thing and he reads it out where the judge had threatened to send maybe a school principal and a phys ed teacher or something. I think it doesn't matter who, send them to prison for praying at the cafeteria while they had their lunch. But he doesn't read out the last sentence, which says that the trial was actually over them breaching an agreement following a lawsuit where they lost a lawsuit. Someone won a lawsuit against them and they'd agreed not to do it. And then they'd gone ahead and did it. So that was the reason why they were threatened with jail. Nothing to do with praying in a school cafeteria. It was because it was a direct breach of an agreement following a lawsuit. And Kent left that bit out. Fortunately, it was on the screen, so I read it out. He is just so
Which
dishonest.
is a lie, basically.
He's just dishonest, straight out. And he was caught in that again. He just, but these minions, no matter if that was in black and white, which it is, they still don't, oh no, he's so innocent. Oh.
Well, in order for them to admit some fault in him, they would have to admit some fault in themselves in believing his previous lies and stuff. And a lot of people don't want to go into that area of doing self-reflection. A lot of people do, and they get out of that. A lot of people have broken out of Kent's grasp, but there's a lot of people that don't want to do that self-reflection in order to break free of that cult. That's what it is.
Yeah, certainly is. Yeah.
And it's not just the people in the compound that are the cult members.
No.
We
Look,
know,
yeah.
we know cult members that don't live on the compound.
Look, I have to go now. I hope that's okay, but I've enjoyed the
Yeah,
show. We
I'm
don't always have
gonna
to have a
get going
long
too
show.
if it's okay.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you real quick, Big Bad Mama, after the
Sure.
show? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll shut the show down. Thank you for
That's
coming on.
great. Thank you, Ghost. Thank you, Big Bad Bummer. Oh, and
Thank you, Claude. Thank you,
Oh,
Ghost.
no, that's me. Oh, sorry. Okay. Bye.
Anytime you guys want to have a show, you can.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. See you. Bye.